Well, well, the Philadelphia Eagles fall in Tampa wild card weekend by a final score of 31-15. The Eagles drop one to Brady. And it was a tough one. Let's just say that to start off here to begin. It was very brutal to watch this game. It was just like ripping your heart out piece by piece. Um, we got shredded today. Let's be honest. All right. We got shredded. Um, I hate to say it. Tom Brady is the GOAT. Got to give him his respect, his credit. Uh, it was tough. It was tough. But what I will say is we lost. We went down at least trying to fight, right, to the defending Super Bowl champions, even though it did not look that pretty. Who knows? The Bucs might even go back to the Super Bowl. We're going to talk about Tom Brady and all. I mean, he absolutely just took advantage of us today, like I figured he would. I did not think it would be this bad. I didn't think Jonathan Gannon would let him play like this. But what else should I have expected? Given that the entire season, this is exactly what Jonathan Gannon did, and it was definitely a tough one today. You never want to see your team go down like that. Shout out to MC, new channel member. Thank you so much for joining the Fire Take Nation. Welcome on in, everybody. Let me be honest here. So before we dive into this game, shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles. They overperformed this season. We overachieved in a lot of different ways. I picked this team to win 6 games, 8 at the most. We ended up winning 9 games, and we ended up going to the playoffs, which nobody ever expected as a 7 seed. We did a lot of good things this year. There were also some bad things, but we did overachieve by getting to the playoffs, so that is at least a positive. You got this experience, right? You have this experience for a lot of these young guys who can then take this on the chin and use it, to kind of like fuel the fire going forward. That's the positive about this. But on the other hand, see, I could have handled losing this game, and I'm not even that mad right now because I knew, right? In the preview video, I said we probably had about a 20% chance to win this game. Now, I was wrong because I picked this to be a 26-24 game. I was way off. We came out doing exactly what I did not want us to do, which we will get into, but we just got absolutely shredded. I've never seen a playoff game look so easy than this one today for Tom Brady. Like, I've never seen something look so easy, especially when you're down a couple of your weapons. It was just absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, it was bad. But anyway, what I will say is that, like, I was okay with losing this game, but I was not okay with losing it this way. I was not okay with losing it this way. You're down 31-0. You're getting literally ran off the field. I mean, mishap after mishap. Like, this team was not prepared in the slightest to play a playoff game today. And a lot of people deserve blame, all right? Despite the entire season, today, just simply today, Nick Sirianni had a terrible game plan. Did not have this team prepared one bit, all right? Jalen Hurts played absolutely terrible. Most of the receivers on this team played absolutely terrible. Our running backs couldn't get going. Our offensive line had timely penalties. Jalen Reagor can't catch a punt. Then on the defensive side, like, I'm literally listing the entire team. I might as well just list the entire team. Jonathan Gannon playing so soft to begin this game. Let Brady come down first possession, second possession. Just let them keep having yards, even though you're down Antonio Brown, even though you're down Chris Godwin, even though you're down Leonard Fournette. I mean, we're just playing the same way we played all year, and Gannon did not make any adjustments the entire year. That does not look good for his head coaching gig or whatever, just being honest. But everybody, even Jason Kelsey, who I think had 1 penalty the whole year, had 2 penalties today. That usually doesn't happen. Our punter, Aaron Sipas, who started off this season looking really good, he shanked a punt for 27 yards. I know the conditions were bad, this and that, but really 27 yards, and just the decision-making in itself was bad. I mean, Nick Sirianni didn't put Jalen Hurts and the rest of his team in the best position to win, and for the plays where they had a chance to get something going. Jalen Hurts was missing throws left and right. The couple plays he tried to make ended up coming back on penalties. Like, I mean, I can think of like 3 to 4 penalties off the top of my head that were just absolutely inexcusable. And we finally get a momentum play. We finally get a chunk. And then, those are just things you can't do in the playoffs, right? You have a timely penalty. The officiating was pretty bad in this game, but there were also some that we just can't make. We can't do those. And Brady absolutely shredded us. So, I'm mad at a lot of people. In itself, though, am I really like so disappointed today? No, because I didn't even expect us to be here. And I think going forward, having 3 first-round picks and having at least this experience is good. But I wish we didn't lose like this, because let me tell you, right? Let me just put this out there, and I would love to know whether you agree or not. Every single day of this offseason, every single day, we are now going to have a debate about whether Jalen Hurts can be the quarterback moving forward. I wanted him to come out here and play at least decent today, right? Maybe we don't have enough to beat the Bucs, but at least play decent. At least play decent. But no, you played absolutely terrible. And now all we're going to hear about is, well, should we use 2 of those first round picks and get a quarterback? Should we trade for a veteran quarterback? This, and that. And you left no room for just optimism in that category, in my opinion. So, oh man. Getting into the statistical part of it, I mean, Jalen Hurts threw the ball 43 times. That can't happen. 258 yards, touchdown, 2 bad interceptions. He's scrambling out. The biggest thing to me today with Jalen Hurts is like, one, you didn't put him in the right position by calling these terrible plays. But like I say every week, and the last couple of weeks, you guys have gotten on me. You guys have gotten on me because I said Jalen Hurts has times each week where he looks like a good quarterback, but for the rest of it, he's shaky. And I think it is time to really put this into perspective, how the teams that we beat this year, like, were they really that good? Nah, like we were even struggling last or 2 weeks ago against Washington in a clinch game. And, it took us to the second half to wake up. Slow start, slow start. We start slow in this game. There was no coming back. I knew about midway through the second quarter, there was no way we were winning this game. And the chance we had, even before half, to at least put points on the board, you guys can say all you want. Oh, well, it was good to go for it on 4th and 4th. No, it's not. And then 4th and 10, you go for it. You don't get it. And then we get the ball back, and Hurts throws a bad interception into the end zone, trying to hit Devontae Smith. Another thing, we don't even get the ball to our playmakers. That's another thing that I just am frustrated with, because Miles Sanders had 4 carries for 3 yards in the first half. Devontae didn't even have a target. Yeah, we started getting Devontae touches in the second half. He had 4 catches for 60 yards, but when you needed it, you didn't even go to your guy. And the first couple times you go to Dallas Goedert, he actually makes plays. Now, he did have a bad drop, which he has had this year. But I don't know, man. I just, now we're going to have to hear, is Jalen Hurts that guy? And again, like I said, every week since I said, in week 2, I just don't know. I just don't know. And I'm leaning towards the no side. I like Jalen Hurts. I'm rooting for him. I want him to be that dude. Did we expect you to win this game today? Probably not. But did we expect you to play like this? You just can't do that. You just can't do that at all. But yeah, Nick Sirianni had a terrible game plan. Like, how come every single play, it's like I read what we're doing? I'm sure you read what we're doing before we even do it. I'm watching like the same 12-yard curl routes. It's like, oh my gosh. Like, switch something up. In the first quarter, like, I was actually happy that we had Jalen on some designed runs, but a lot of them were RPOs as well. And let's keep it a buck, man. Jalen Hurts cannot read an RPO. I wish he could. I really do. But he can't read the RPO, and him and Sanders just didn't have that connection. Jordan Howard, I don't know if he was hurt or what. He didn't even touch the ball, okay? And Boston Scott gets 1 carry, and he runs for a touchdown late in the game. Boston Scott should have at least gotten some more touches. But yeah, I mean, if you look at the carries, right? Jalen Hurts was our leading rusher. He had 8 carries. He had the most carries, by the way, And then he had 39 yards, which just can't happen. Just can't happen. And Sanders had 7 carries for 16 yards. I've been really high on Miles Sanders. Was the hand bothering him? I'm sure it was. But Sanders has to show up more in this game as well. It was a bad, all around game for the offense. I mean, I can't really think of much positives other than Dallas Goedert and Devontae Smith late in the game. It was way too predictable. What I expected the Eagles to do. Like I said, the only way the Eagles had a chance in this game was to run and keep Brady off the field and run and use multiple attacks, use multiple looks, right? Get Jordan Howard going downhill. He didn't even touch the ball. Use Miles Sanders, get those chunk yards, use Boston Scott, like do a bunch of different things and have Jalen on a couple runs as well. And we just didn't even run at all. Like we couldn't get it established. Our line did not play well. This is probably their worst game of the year. And the Bucs were not fooled at all. And as soon as, I was questioning going back and forth, like, should we take the ball first if we win the toss? We ended up winning the toss. We gave it to Brady. And, it was just bad. It was bad. The offense played terrible. We'll put that out there. But let's be honest, okay? The defense was terrible as well. I know they had some sacks. Ryan Kerrigan had his first plays of the entire year. He probably had the best game out of anybody on defense. I think Kerrigan had 2 sacks in this. 1.5 sacks for Kerrigan. Okay, but let's be honest. Kerrigan was going up against a backup right tackle because Wirfs got hurt. He tried to come back in, couldn't. And then they had a backup right tackle in, and that's pretty much the weak link. And we ended up sacking Brady like 4 times, I think. What was it? Let's see. Yeah, 4 times. But, I just don't understand Jonathan Gannon, okay? And I told you guys Gannon would be a main part of us losing this football game, okay? Now, the guys have to play better. I get this and that. But in a game where the wind gusts are so high, in a game where you're down a couple weapons in terms of the Bucs, right? And Gannon just comes out, and you know what Brady is going to do. He's the best for a reason, okay? He doesn't need to go down the field. He will literally take 2 yards at a time, and he will go as far as his players take him. Doesn't matter who's out there playing with Brady, but the fact of the matter is you got to come up and press, and dink and dunk. They get all the way down, and on the first drive, we have a chance to stop them, and who else? Derek frickin' Barnett. Now, I thought Barnett got pushed a little bit on that penalty they called. But the fact of the matter, and by the way, he did hit him in the hip, so it shouldn't have been called, but it's Brady. They're going to give it to him. And it just fits perfectly that Derek Barnett has to be the one to get a roughing the passer. And, that's probably chalked. Like, Barnett's probably chalked on this team. He's one guy that has to go, in my opinion. And we just gave him too many chances, and we didn't capitalize. And when we had the first drive out of the second half, we had a chance, and we couldn't convert. We could not convert. And that was pretty much it. We had a chance. Even if you score before half, get some points on the board, and then you score after the half, like you're back in the game. You're back in the game. So, that's just kind of how I feel about it. And, I agree. The defense wasn't terrible. They at least made some plays, but there was just nothing else they could do. And I wish we were more aggressive. Getting to the other guy that I haven't touched on, this is the last thing I want to say, because honestly, the third quarter, the fourth quarter, I don't even want to talk about it because the game wasn't relevant at that point. We ended up scoring a couple garbage time touchdowns. The Bucs were letting us come down the field. At least we tried, I guess, right? Went out with some fight. But holy crap. All right. And I'm not just going to dog this guy all day, but Jalen Reagor has to go. And I'm going to say something here, and I don't want you to get all up in your feelings. I'm just giving my take, okay? There were so many Howie Roseman lovers, and they are out there. They love Howie Roseman. Did he have a good season? Let's see. Howie Roseman had a decent season, okay? He got this team back where they needed to, got some good first-round picks, right? Devontae was a good pick and all that. Howie had a decent season. But let's be honest here, okay? We need to stop this favoritism of players that just can't do it. Now, should Sirianni be even putting him on the field? Well, to be honest, he took him off the entire. I mean, we have pretty much taken Jalen Reagor out of every opportunity that he can screw us up, except for one punt return. You are a first-round pick, and you are returning punts every day. That is your job. Work on returning punts. Get better at returning punts. You're not even on the kick return. You're strictly on punt returns. And you're going to tell me that you muffed 2 punts. The first one, before he muffed the first punt, okay, I was watching a game with my father, and I told him, okay, Jalen Reagor came up on a punt, and he was waiting for it, and the ball went behind him, and he had to turn, and the ball bounced and rolled for like 10 yards. At that point, I said to my dad, Jalen Reagor cannot be out there the rest of the game. He is going to mess something up. How do you not even line up a punt the right way? And then what happened after that? Jalen Reagor, he goes to think about calling a fair catch on the next punt return, and then he gets scared because he doesn't call a fair catch, and he reaches his arms out as long as he can as a defender is running into him and drops the punt and gives up the touchdown that pretty much put it out of reach. And then on the subsequent drive, he drops another punt. It is inexcusable, okay? And for all the Howie lovers out there, I'm tired of this pride thing, okay? I'm tired of, well, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside's still on his team because he was a top or a high second-round pick. No, he's got to go. Jalen Reagor got to go. They got to go, man. I'm tired of this, like, ego thing where it's like, oh, well, I picked these guys. No, they have to go. The experiment is over. There is no way Jalen Reagor survives that muffed punt. There is literally no way that he can survive that. Your one job, Jalen Reagor, in your second year is to return punts, and you can't even do that. Okay, that's enough about Jalen Reagor. I'm sorry. I just had to rant a little bit, and it's more of a rant towards Howie Roseman as well because, like I said, everybody's on the Howie train now. No, he should still go as well. And guess who's making the first-round picks? That's right. It's Howie Roseman. What else on this game? That's pretty much it. The Eagles got dominated in every category. Not only was this a game where we got outdueled by one of the best, but this was also a game where everything in its right mind went wrong for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I knew into the second quarter there was no chance we were winning this game. And everything went bad. So that's just how I feel about it. Overall, I'm glad that the Eagles, overachieved this year. At the end of the day, we have 3 first-round picks, which is nice. I don't trust the people in charge making the picks. And do you guys want my honest take right now? Just obviously, I'm still fired up from the game, okay? Even though I'm not even that fired up. Here's what needs to happen, because when I look, and I still need to do more research on this, but I'm looking at these quarterback prospects and all that in college. And you want to know something? Howie Roseman is going to draft a quarterback. I'm telling you right now, we're going to have this conversation every day of the offseason. Howie's going to draft a quarterback or sign one or something. What he needs to do is trade for a vet, because what the Eagles have here is a top-notch wide receiver who's still young, but he's very good. We have a guy that can catch the ball, tap his toes, all that, in Devontae Smith. If Devontae was used the right way this year, he probably has 1,300 yards. Devontae is a great receiver. Sanders, in my opinion, although he had a bad game today, is a pretty good back, although you got to, count on him staying healthy. And Dallas Goedert is a pretty good tight end. You need to go out and trade for a veteran quarterback. That's what I would say right now at this time. But that's just my thoughts on it. Maybe I'll change my opinion on that. But as of right now, I think this Eagles team needs a dude who you can say, all right, go win this game. I would look for a veteran quarterback. If it's not there, fine. But I would at least inquire about it. MC with the $5 donation. Thank you, man. Says, let's move on. We need Howie to go. MC, shout out to you for becoming a member as well. Thank you so much. And I agree 100%. Nobody's going to say it, though. They're going to say, oh, what a great season. We won 9 games. We did this. We have 3 first-round picks. You watch what happens when Howie makes those picks in the draft. You watch how he botches it. And I'm not trying to hate on Howie just to the death of it, because he did do some good things this season, and I will admit that. But we need to stop this favoritism of, we saw it the last year under Doug. This is how I know it's Howie Roseman. Because under Doug Peterson, we brought Alshon Jeffrey back and put him over Travis Fulgham when Fulgham was on fire. We brought Jason Peters back in the lineup or on the field when Jordan Mailata was on fire. We moved Andre Dillard, messed him up. Dillard is still here. Okay? J. Jaw is still here. Jalen Reagor is still here. Howie has a pride issue, and he's not going. He needs to get rid of these experiments. They're just not the guys. And that's just kind of how I feel about it. So I think we need to go out and get a quarterback. Nick Sirianni's at the presser now. I'm gonna read your guys' comments. Don't worry. Keep letting me know your thoughts in the chat. If you haven't yet, hit that thumbs up, by the way. Let's go ahead and listen in on to what Nick Sirianni has to say after this one. And I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he's going to give him credit and all, but holy crap, man. I'm a little bit concerned after what I saw. I would like to trade for a vet quarterback, but yeah. Let's go ahead and listen on in. Shout out to everybody up in the house, man.
Prepare the team moving into the.
All right, let's see. Here we go.
We saw some uncharacteristic mistakes and some characteristics. Do you think some guys let the moment get to them?
We know that you can't make mistakes like that in the playoffs against a really good football team, and we did. I don't want to say the moment got too big for him. I just think we made some mistakes. Coaching, it always starts with me as a coach. There were some coaching mistakes, and there's going to be guys that are going to want some plays back out there. But I didn't feel and I didn't sense for a moment that the moment was too big for him. It was a great.
Shout out to MC with the $5 donation. By the way, what do you guys think about Nick Sirianni? Are you sold on him moving forward? Do you think he's the guy? Is it, I guess, not normal, but is it okay? Not okay, but are you at least assured that Nick is the guy based off of pretty much how pathetic the game plan was today? What do you guys think about that? MC with the $5 donation. When Reagor muffed that punt and I saw Reagor out there again, I was like, what? It's unbelievable, MC. And not only that, they brought him in for a screen the next play. Oh, and that's another thing. Thank you, MC. Is it just me, or were we so conservative? Now, I know the win, right? But it looked like Nick Sirianni didn't even trust Jalen Hurts to throw a ball at all today. Not that he gave him any reason to, but they were back to calling him Nick Screeniani. They were calling him Nick Screeniani. I felt like every single ball was a screenplay in the first quarter and a half. I'm like, is this our offense? No Devontae, nothing. Jalen missed Quez deep early on. He had a good look. Didn't even do that. But really, we just went to all screens. In my opinion, Nick Sirianni had a terrible game today, but at least he adapted this season and adjusted and got better. At least he made improvements and ran the ball. And I think that as you go on, as a rookie head coach to win 9 games, even though some of the opponents weren't that good, at least he got the job done in that aspect and got us there. But Jonathan Gannon, to me, did not make any improvements. He did not make any improvements. The numbers look good, but it did not pan out. It did not pan out. And I'm just going to say right now, I want Jonathan Gannon to go. I said this before the game, honestly. I want him to go. I don't want Jonathan Gannon. If Jonathan Gannon is the coordinator for this team again next year, we are in deep, deep trouble. We need another defensive coordinator. I'm sorry. Gannon is just not it. And I was at times I was wishing for Jim Schwartz today. That's how bad it was. So it's unfortunate. But yeah, MC and Reagor, like I said, he misjudged catching a punt, let it bounce, and then he muffs 2 punts. It's just sad. That is your only duty. And he's just not surviving it. If Jalen Reagor's on the roster next year, we are in trouble, man. We are in trouble next year. But I like what Sirianni did this year. I think he can build on it, and, I think he's a good guy, and I think he's going to work. I think he's going to work on it and take this on the chin, but it is tough for your first playoff game. So, Sean said, is it Gannon or the players that he coaches? Well, I mean, it's also some of the players. How long have we been screaming to draft a linebacker, right? That would probably help. But it is partially the players too. You know, they got to be better. But I see the same tendencies from Jonathan Gannon. Brady knew exactly. Like there was even that touchdown where he hit Gronk wide open in the end zone. Brady knew that we were sending the house. Like he read that off the rip. And it's just like Gannon every time does the same. He comes out the same way. Every stat line is similar to what Brady had today. In real time, he was like 29 for 34, finished 29 for 37, 271 yards. Pretty much Brady missed about like 3 to 4 passes today, but we didn't adjust, man. And I'm just tired of Gannon playing the same scheme. It really is annoying. It works against these bad quarterbacks, but not against Tom Brady. We knew what he had to do, or at least try, right? Go out swinging. It's frustrating, man.
Great atmosphere here, but I never felt that out there. We just didn't make some plays, and we didn't coach good enough at the end of the day.
Mistakes were the coaching mistakes.
Well, again, anytime their defense is, or pardon me, they score 17 points early on and the offense has 0 points, or you're not putting your guys in position to play, so position to make plays. So, you know, we had to do a better job of that. I thought the defensive game plan for Tampa was pretty good with some of the run blitzes they had on, and there were some things that, you know, we would like to had some more runs early on, but you know, you have to adjust to the way they're blitzing things off the edge, and some of the answers sometimes is just spit a lookout off to the side. I think there's probably 4 or 5 runs that we ended up getting out of, and they did a good job. And we spit it out to the perimeter because of their run blitz, and then they did a good job of rallying to it. And you know, so I take that responsibility. We weren't good enough with our answers against some of the run blitzes.
I thought that we got away from the run way too fast. Oh, we got away from it way too fast. I knew that was going to happen if we went down in this game. And, you know, someone says here that we shouldn't have gave it to Brady to start. That's true. But we also shouldn't have got a 15-yard rough in the passer, and then we shouldn't have let them score. Like, we had a chance, and we just, you know, once Brady gets going, like, it's pretty hard to stop him. JD says we don't need a veteran quarterback. Okay, fine. What do we need? What do we need? Or is Hurts the guy? What do you guys think?
Jalen had today. What did you make of his performance?
I'm sorry, I missed that first part.
Some of the issues Jalen Hurts had today, and what did you make of his performance?
You know, obviously I need to go back and watch the tape. Again, we weren't as crisp as we needed to be on offense. I thought there were some good zone read things that he did and read it pretty well. You know, a couple of the early things that happened, you know, like some of the early third downs weren't necessarily his fault of what happened. Again, I'll have to watch the tape through it. It's not going to come out as his best graded game, and it's not going to come out as a lot of our guys' best graded game. So I'll have to watch the tape to get further answers for you. But again, just not a crisp game, and that always starts with me as a
awful game. Sean says, why does Gannon get head coach interviews if he is the issue? In my personal opinion, I think the numbers look good against some of these bad teams in the second half of the year. But when you actually watch it, like I don't know why he gets head coach interviews. I don't know, but I hope he does get a job. I really do. I really do. I can assure you, Gannon should not be the coordinator of this team next year. And Omar says, as much potential that Hurts has, I'd rather have a vet quarterback in a trade. He misses his receivers too much. This I agree with. There were way too many missed throws today. Some of them came at a time when it really didn't matter anymore, but you know, he's just missing guys way too like over the head. He can't throw it downfield like that. And I'm rooting for Hurts. Like, he's a good kid, but like a lot of me leans towards the point where like he's not it. Right. And all the Jalen Hurts, I guess, stands or whatever came in last week or the week before, and they're like, see what happened? You were on him too quick. Nah, I just call how I see it. Like I've said every week this year, he has points where he looks good. He looks like he can be that dude. Things start to connect. But overall, he misses guys so much, man. Big timing, too. Like, he needed to make big throws today. I'm rooting for Hurts, man, but it's tough. It is. And I didn't want to see him lose the game this way. So
the head coach and then another quarterback, we're always going to take responsibility for that.
describe the emotions in the locker room after the game? It was your first playoff as head coach. It was Jalen's first playoff quarterback. How much does this hurt? And what does it feel like?
Yeah, it definitely hurts because the goal is never just to get to the playoffs. The goal is to get in and do some damage in there. And so that was everybody's mindset. You know, we were confident coming in, and that was our mindset that we were going to do that. And whenever it doesn't go as planned, and the season ends, you know, in playoffs, it's even harder because then it's just over, right? It's going to hurt. But I just think I've always appreciated about the football season that it's a journey, and you gotta appreciate the journey that you went through together as a football team. The meetings, the practices, the training camp, the training camp practices, the training camp up in New York against the Jets, just all the things that built us into the team the 2021 Eagles. And so you get sad because and you feel that it's sad because it's over, right? You're so happy that it happened and the journey happened and the relationships that were built, but it hurts and it stings because that journey of the 2021 Eagles is over, and that team will never be the same again, right? There'll be changes, right? It's very never does a team look exactly the same as it did the year before, and so I just think it's a special group of guys, and so you're sad because the journey's over, and hopefully you get as many of those special guys back that you can, because the whole group's special.
I respect Sirianni saying, all the right things. Trush, I see what you're saying here, but here's my problem with your opinion here. I think that the Eagles, like, if they have a quarterback that they believe in, you need to target defense. You need to target a really solid linebacker, right? Maybe even some trench help, maybe even some secondary help. You need help on his defense. You need some playmakers. My problem is, if you don't have the quarterback you believe in, yeah, you can build this team around, but then how are you going to get the guy that you want? And if the right vet is out there, I think this offense has enough playmakers right now. Obviously, they still need more, but you need to get the guy that you believe in. And it's up to this team. Like, what do they think of Jalen Hurts after this season? And it's, like I said, it's very debatable now after this entire year in a nutshell. Like, there was ups, downs, and an unfortunate ending, but it's just hard. And this is a huge draft for us to really get some good playmakers, and we have good young talent, but we got to cap it off with the right piece. So, it's really going to be interesting to see where they go in this draft, in my opinion. Shout out to MC with the $5 donation. Thank you. Says the drive at the end of the first half with the INT, we needed a quarterback to deliver that touchdown to Devontae. That was a terrible decision, in my opinion. He was rolling to his left, had about 5 guys chasing him down, and tried to squeeze that ball in. And he just doesn't have the zip on his arm, and there were a couple other throws where he tried to hit his guys and it just sailed, or, and there was even a play early where, the one where he missed Quez Watkins deep. Like, my problem is that he scrambles way too fast. He's got quick feet, and it's like he's so nervous every time he drops back. Like, he leaves the pocket way too fast. And, I just don't like that. He needs to learn and work on that. I don't know if it's just a matter of having that it factor or just like getting more experience maybe, but he scrambles way too fast, and it's frustrating, man. It is.
I said to the guys that just the foundation, when I came in, like when we stepped in here, the foundation was very solid to begin with, and we just continue to grow it. And so I'm grateful for that. And it'll just be hard that, we're not game planning next week with our game plan and our offense and defensive game plans, and we're not meeting with the guys. And so that's what hurts, and that's what stings about it.
It took a while for you to get Devontae involved offensively. Was that something Tampa was doing, or if not, what went into that?
Well, early on, again, you always want to get your playmakers going as early as you can. But again, the defense dictates some of that, and the amount of plays we had dictates some of that. We really didn't have a good drive until was it our third or fourth drive? Maybe our fourth drive, where it was a sustained drive. But no doubt.
Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. James, what's going on? Give me your guys' thoughts about everything in the chat. The future of this game. Obviously a tough one. We were down 31-0. Like, don't even look at the final score. This was not a close game whatsoever. We got it handed to us. We did. And I thought the few opportunities early on we had a chance, to really establish ourselves. We just didn't capitalize, and it's tough. But yeah, let me know. Do you guys think Jalen is the guy moving forward? Do you think Nick Sirianni is the coach moving forward? Let me know.
I mean, that's my job to get Devontae going earlier because he's a heck of a football player. And of course we want to get him going, but there's different things that play into that, but I'll accept that. That starts with me regardless of how the drives are going. But, yeah, so definitely got to get him going earlier, and he wasn't a part of it early. There were some things called to him in the defense, early on. Defense forced the ball to go somewhere else. So you want to get them going, but you also don't want to force it to what they're doing.
What happened to Jalen Reagor's muff punt, and did you consider not putting him back out there?
Good question.
Well, the muff punt right there, the wind was messed with him a little bit earlier in the game.
Come on, Nick.
And it looked like he came up again. I'll have to look at the tape exactly what happened, and I'm going to the defense to try to help get that thing going. So I didn't have a chance to talk to Clay about it. Obviously, I saw it just looked like he misjudged it and came back.
No, that's not what happened at all. He got scared and he lost it. But I feel bad for Nick in the sense that he has to put Jalen Reagor in at some point or some way. Right, because he's still here on this team. He's a first-round pick from last year, but the experiment is over, man. Jalen has to go. Jalen Reagor. And J-Jaw has to go. Like I said, we need to cut our losses, go forward with the young core that we have, and just keep getting better. We can't keep holding on to these guys. It's just annoying, man. It really is. So,
sure, whenever you have a mistake or something like that, that's a big mistake. You always are going to be like, hey, what's the next approach? Does Greg Ward go back there? Well, Greg Ward had back spasms and he was out, and so we would have explored that option. He got another opportunity, made a good play, but then they made a mistake again on that, and he's going to want those plays back. We'll get back to the drawing board and fix those things. But as far as why we stayed with Jalen, I'm glad he made a play after that. Again, not happy with the one that happened after the play that he made, but it was more so about Greg being out.
So pretty much what Nick is saying is that Jalen is so bad, and if it wasn't for Greg Ward being injured, then he would have pulled Reagor out of punt duties. Jalen Reagor is a first-round pick. This is a whole different discussion for another day, and we've talked about this before. But just the evaluation and we just need somebody else. How we can manage the cap and this and that. We need some other guy with football background making our draft selections. We can't keep doing this. Devontae Smith was a great first round pick, but he was a top 10 pick. Yes, it was nice to jump up in front of the Giants and get him and this and that. But I mean, when you draft top 5, top 10, usually it's hard to miss on those types of guys, right? But every time after that, we keep missing. We keep missing, and it's not good. Could you imagine if we had a tandem of Justin Jefferson and Devontae Smith? Could you imagine those two on this team? It would be nuts. It really would. But yeah, we definitely need another receiver. Devontae can be that dude. Goddard, I think, is a lethal weapon. Right, can just be like a Swiss Army knife through any defense. And Miles Sanders, to me, is still very good. But we need another receiver. We need it bad. Shout out to Connor with the $5 donation. Thank you, my man. It says, trade one of our first for a 2023 first and 2022 second. Then next draft, trade up with 2 firsts to grab Bryce Young. I mean, you can never put it past Howie Roseman. I'm sure Howie's already thinking about a quarterback. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Howie Roseman drafts a quarterback this offseason. The guy loves having a quarterback factory, as he calls it, and I could see him doing that. What I would do is rather look in the veteran veteran trade market. If there's any guys available, I think that's what we need. I'm tired of going through this process. We have guys that can at least compete. We need a guy with some experience. We can't just keep trying. In the early rounds, I mean, we can, but it's hard. It really is. Look at the guys that win Super Bowls. They're the best. They're the Bradys, the Roethlisbergers, the Mannings, Mahomes, the Rodgers, those types of guys. They are the ones that win Super Bowls. You need to get a guy like that. That's just how I feel about it. So
Obviously, 2 possessions. It's never good. You never want to be down those 2 possessions. But the way you built this offense, particularly, how much stress does that put on you to be in that situation?
I think it would create. I know what you're getting at there with, like, as far as being a run first team, it's hard to be down 17 points. But I think what you've seen from our offense the entire year is that we are an explosive offense, even though we're a run first offense. And so I didn't feel the stress until we went down, maybe 24. I felt like we could play, our game still, where we were mixing it, maybe passing it just a little bit more. But the explosive plays weren't there today. Again, anytime the explosive plays aren't there, I'm always going to put myself in that situation first. I'll have to see the numbers of what we were, but some of our explosive plays came on some, when we were down and they were playing a little bit softer. And so, but I didn't feel that press until we were down maybe 24-0.
Bigger picture, how do you walk away feeling about Jalen Hurts?
Again, we're all going to say for today's game, he didn't play his best game, as we all know. But you don't take the body of work that he had for 17 weeks, and I know he didn't play in 2 games, so 15 weeks, and say you put everything on this game, right? And I know we're all judged on the last game that we played. I understand that. I fully get that.
no,
But
Nick, we're
I
judged
felt
on the
really,
whole
I
season.
felt like Jalen grew throughout the year. And he got better as a passer. He got better as a
At that point, my question is, if he grew so much this year, then how come the game plan was so tentative today? Why was everything so conservative, man? So conservative. Like it was not anything that I could have really trusted. As soon as our running game got shut down early on, it was not it. It was not it.
reading the defenses, getting the ball to the right place. He developed so much in his ability to extend plays, of not only making plays with his feet, but also making plays downfield on the scramble. I know the one today, he scrambled and threw the interception. He had some other good scrambles that were good plays though as well. So I feel really good with what we have in place right here at the quarterback position. He played. I thought he had a great year, and he came a long way. And that's what I expect from Jalen, just because of the type of football character he has, the type of character he has, the toughness that he has, the love for football that he has. I can't say enough good things about Jalen, the player, the person, and the player. And so I feel good about him. I know, again, this was the game that, none of us are going to be satisfied with, me, him, multiple guys on that football team. But I'm really pleased with how he came along this year and the leader he is on this football team.
You got 2 more guys.
2 more questions. Then we'll read some more comments. Also, let me ask you guys this. Like, what do you think if you had to rate from like an A, B, C, D, or F, A being the best, F being the worst? Like, how confident, like, if you can predict this upcoming offseason, what do you think is going to be the grade for this offseason? Like, pretty much how confident are you? Do you think Howie Roseman and this organization can do an A+ job at, making the right decisions, drafting the right guys? Or is it an F where you think they're going to absolutely blow this thing up and just make it so much worse? Are you in the middle? What do you guys think?
Yeah, you never want to start slow, regardless of who you're playing, because in this league, anybody can beat you at any time. And but there's less margin of error in the playoffs. We that is something that we definitely talked about, that the assignment and the technique that happened. Those are important no matter what game 1 through 17. The assignment techniques important.
Man, Jalen had 16 touchdowns and 9 interceptions on the year, 10 rushing touchdowns. But man, there's going to be so much controversy, man.
Super important, but it becomes even more important, when the playoffs come. And so, it's just the mistakes get amplified. You can't turn the ball over 3 times like we did today and be a quarterback or a team, a quarterback like Tom Brady, or a team like the Tampa Bay Bucks, or a coach like Coach Arians, or a coach like Todd Bowles, or you can't do that. And so those mistakes just get amplified as you get into this style of football.
Nick, when this defense struggles, it typically struggles for the same reasons opposing quarterback aside. Why do you think that is?
Well, again, I think that we definitely got better in as far as going through, challenging a little bit more, getting our rush home a little bit more, pressuring a little bit more. I think the defensive coaches made good adjustments as the year went on. So it wasn't the same. It may have been, some quarterback completion percentages as the year went on, but it's not like it was against the same bullets that we were flying at him, at those quarterbacks. And so we definitely, Coach Gannon and I, we've talked through it, being where we were in completion percentage, that doesn't sit well with us. We played some good quarterbacks too, but again, it should never be that high. That's not our standard of what we want it to look like. But credit to Tom Brady, and he's seen everything that you could imagine, and he was on it today.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks.
All right, that's Nick Sirianni. Last time at the presser this season, I see a lot of C's and D's, D plus, 1B up in here. So we think somewhere right in the middle, and I would kind of agree with that. I don't have faith in them drafting guys, especially below 10. And we have 3 picks, so it's going to be interesting to see whether they package those together, get us another playmaker, get us a quarterback. It's just really tough looking at who we played and then looking, at the weapons we have. Did Jalen have good enough of a season that we needed him to have? Did the coaches put him in the right positions all the time? We kind of really changed our offense after week 7. So there's a lot of ifs. And man, it's just we can't afford to miss anything else in the draft. And if you want my opinion, like I said, I think Nick obviously has earned another year in my eyes. He had a terrible game today, but I think Nick has earned a year. I hope Jonathan Gannon is not here. That's just my personal opinion. And in terms of Jalen, I'm leaning towards the side of no, not being the future guy. If you want to give him another chance and try, maybe upgrade the rest of the team. But I think if the right veteran quarterback is available and the Eagles have this much firepower, especially when it comes to first round picks, I wouldn't put it past Howie Roseman going out there and getting a quarterback. I wouldn't. So that's just how I feel about it. But other than that, I mean, we still have a lot of young guys. It was a tough game, but guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I mean, Eagles ran into a really good team today, the reigning Super Bowl champions. Tom Brady, you had to pretty much play a perfect game against them. That's what we did in 2017, 2018. That was you had to outduel them, and that's what we did, and we beat them. But today, our only hope was keeping them off the field, running it well, and we just didn't get going in any of that. So Eagles fall 31-15. And the Eagles are eliminated from the playoffs. I'm looking right now. The Cowboys are down 10-0. So at least we have that going for us right now. I really hope they lose. But anyway, we'll see what happens there. It's going to be interesting playoffs, interesting offseason. I think there are some tough decisions that need to be made. I think some dudes need to get cut. That just, you got to cut your losses. You got to get rid of some of these guys. And, you got to, the Eagles are not in a terrible place. They have a good young core going forward. That's what I think. I think the Eagles have a good young core, especially when it comes to offense. Hurts, I'm not really sure about. There's been a lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of in between, but it does sting going out like that. So those are just my thoughts. Appreciate you guys hanging out all season, talking, chopping it up. We'll have some more talk on it. But other than that, if you haven't yet, feel free to hit the like button. Shout out to my guy, Philly Mike, up in here. Philly Talk Podcast says it was ugly. It definitely was ugly. Like I said at the beginning, I can handle losing I'm not overly frustrated, but losing this way definitely hurts, no pun intended. Um, but we'll see. We'll see what happens as we go forward. Eagles fall, Bucks move on. Shout out to them. They played a really good game today, and the Eagles got to use it, take it on the chin as a learning lesson, and get better. And we'll see what happens this offseason. But thank you guys for being here once again. Everybody have a great rest of your weekend. Go 49ers, and y'all have a good one, man. Catch you on the next one. Peace.